Hello everyone, welcome back to AngularJS Codecademy. So today we're going to be looking at the lesson of services. We're also 3/4 of the way through AngularJS. It is quite a shorter course compared to the others. It's something like Java length. But yeah, so if you guys would like to see something specific next after this course, then feel free to ask in the comments down below, because otherwise I plan on doing jQuery or something like that. But other than that, let's just get started. So far we've made AngularJS apps by adding data onto a controller and then displaying it in a view. But what happens when the data contains hundreds of items, or if it's constantly changing, like weather or financial data? Hard coding data into a controller just won't work anymore. So a better solution is to read the live data from a server. We can do this by creating a service. So instructions: in the browser frame on the right, so this, visit that. Are we there or not? I would expect that we are, so let's see. Or yeah, we'll just copy that over and put it there and see if that's what we get. Oh no, it's not. It's a JSON object containing a city name and an array days containing weather data for the next 5 days. Aha. Okay, so this contains all of the information that we will need to be displaying. Okay, instruction 2. Create a service named forecast that fetches the weather data from the server. In the new file JS services forecast.js, so where we are right now, type in this code exactly as you see here. So let's copy that and paste. So let's see, so we have app factory, naming it forecast, and I'm guessing it's that HTTP means it's taking it from somewhere, and then it's returning whatever it gets from this, and success. If it's successful, it does that. If it's unsuccessful, it does that. So if it's successful, it returns the data that it has gotten, or that it got, and if it's unsuccessful, it returns an error. So let's run so that we can move on. There we go. Include JS services forecast.js in index.html in line 62 as a new script element. So let's do that. So we just need to create a new script. I will shrink this a bit, hopefully it doesn't bug out. Good. And here we go, services. So we want script and src equals something. We will see what that something is in a second. That is found in there, so I'll just copy that path and put it in the source. So let's run, and hopefully it should be fine. There we go. In the controller, so that's going to be JS controllers. There we go, main controller. Modify main controller by passing in the forecast service like this. So now that's the comment, and I'm guessing that we're going to be adding things in there. So we want to modify this so it looks like this. Here's my guess. Let's see. Let's delete that and let's see what it says if we just leave it as what it is there. Okay, so you just want to delete whatever is already there and add this in. So 2 forward slashes just mean comment, so we don't really want that there, so I'm just going to delete it. And inside main controller, so inside here, use the forecast service to save weather data into scope 5 days like this. Okay. Let's copy that over and paste it in here. We probably want that after this, so let's try putting it there. And good, we can move on. Let's actually first see what this does. So we're creating, if it's successful, scope 5 days equals data. So it's getting the data from the server that it has received, so that then from the controller we can actually use it in index.html. So basically this is passing information to this, and then with this information we can use expression to add it into index.html. So let's see if that is what we're actually going to be doing. Well done. The city name now shows up in the view. Okay, let's see the view. Does it? Okay, I guess we will see. How does it work? So first, in JS services forecast.js, we made a new service. We used app.factory to create a new service named forecast, as you can see here. The forecast service needs to use AngularJS's built-in HTTP to fetch JSON from the server. Therefore, we add HTTP to the forecast service as a dependency like this. So that's where the dependency is added. And the square bracket is closed there. I was just looking at that. It was confusing. So now HTTP is available to use inside forecast. Then inside forecast, we use HTTP to construct an HTTP GET request for the weather data. If the request succeeds, the weather data is returned. Otherwise, the error info is returned, as I said before. Next, in the controller, we use, so let's open up the controller so that we can actually see. In the controller, we use the forecast service to fetch data from the server. First, we added forecast into main controller as a dependency so that it's available to use. So we did that with this. Then within the controller, we used forecast to asynchronously fetch the weather data from the server and store it into scope 5 days. So in here, actually, this might need to be in there instead. Let's just run that. Yeah, there we go. So that actually needs to be inside of this, not outside. That's why the name wasn't showing up. And that's why I was confused. Good. So forecast to, yeah, okay. And as before, any properties attached to scope became available to use in the view. This means in index.html we can display the city name using an expression as done before. So let's check out index.html and see where we are displaying that. Ah, there. So that's where we are displaying the city name. And we are taking that from the main controller. And main controller is taking it from forecast.js. So in the browser, visit that. So there we go. Looking at the format of the data in the days array, each day has 4 pieces of data: date, time, icon, high, and low. So date, time, the icon, I'm guessing it's going to be an image, high, and low. And each of them are sorted as dictionaries. Okay, visit that to view the actual web page. Let's finish the view so that it displays the weather for each day and not just the name of the city. Notice in the view we're using ngRepeat. So in the view in here, let's find that here. We're using ngRepeat. Day in, so you can put here instead of day whatever you want, but day is the most is the best thing to use because it's obvious if somebody else was looking at it. In 5 days, .days. .days is just saying in there. And notice we're using ngRepeat to loop through each item in the days array. Inside this loop, display a day's 4 pieces of data. So we want to display each one of those. So let's see then. So day in 5 day .days, we have that, and day row daytime is supposed to be displayed in here. So I'm just going to do it as a paragraph. I think that's how we should do it. So if we do it as a paragraph, we want to I'm just thinking of print. So I'm thinking of print, but print is obviously not correct. What you need to do is use expression. So you do that so that it prints something depending on whatever you're using. So in this case, we're looking at day in 5 days, in 5 day.days. So .days is just saying that we're looking at this list or this dictionary here. And now that day is specified as one of these elements, one at a time, we can use day dot, and here we're looking at the date time, so we can just put date time there. Then I can just copy this to the second place. Actually, you don't need paragraphs here because there's a div there, so you don't need the paragraphs. You can just copy that over, and I wish they had left some tabs there instead of me putting so many tabs, but oh well. There, and daytime, but instead of daytime I want icon. Then here it's a similar thing. Instead of daytime I want high, and in the next one, in low, I want low. And there we go. Let's run it, and I will show you what the actual web page is going to look like after that's done. Well, it doesn't like it, but let's see. So that's okay. Icon, and that's actually supposed to be as an image. So GSRC, oops, not like that. Because it's an image, it's slightly different. So we want img src equals, and then here is the place that we need our expression in. And we want day.icon. Let's run that. And there we go. Now we have the images displayed as well. But what are we doing wrong now? Let's see. So a few things here. I realized that this UL is not supposed to really be here, or is supposed to be here, but there's supposed to be an opening tag for it as well. And I saw that if you just delete it, everything goes fine. As well as that, instead of just using src, you should use ng-src. And let's see. There we go. Now that's done. And now we need to use the date filter to format the date time, which is quite good to use, because otherwise it just looks quite bad. It just looks like a random string of numbers. So for that we need to use the pipe and date. There we go. And now it should look much better. There we go. January 4th, January 5th, January 6th. Although I'd prefer it if it was 7th of January, but oh well. Next, moving on to the last lesson of today. So why are services useful? Instead of filling the controller with code to fetch weather data from a server, it's better to move this independent logic into a service so that it can be reused by other parts of the app. So what can we generalize so far? Directives are a way to make standalone UI components like app info. Services are a way to make standalone communication logic like forecast, which fetches weather data from a server. So a server is anything that isn't your computer, basically. A server can be either the hardware or the software, it really depends. So an outside place that you can get information from, in this case anyway. But yeah, that's it for today's lesson. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like, share and subscribe. Please tell me in the comments down below what you would like to see after AngularJS has finished. That would be appreciated. If you didn't like this video though, please give me a dislike. Tell me in the comments down below why you didn't like it, so that I can improve for next time. But until that next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.